G'day everyone, hope we're doing well. Another episode of Stringybark podcasting. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you're enjoying the content that I've been sharing as of late. I see it's been going pretty well, getting a bit of feedback, which is good now. So I'm very happy with that. Also had a fellow podcaster for down in New South Wales reach out to me today, so hopefully I might be having a yarn with him in the next few days to see if we can set something up. So looking forward to that. I'll keep you posted. Yeah, no, she's been pretty quiet. The usual car accident, the odd stabbing or two, and a few breaking and enters. Um, and then the usual small politic talk and bit of world news. Nothing that you probably don't already know anyway. But I like to start the episode off just with a bit of Australian news, Queensland news, Australian news, and then kind of gloss into world politics, world news, and anything else that drifts through my mind throughout the day that I could remember and write down, and gives me somewhere to talk about and get the ideas off my mind, and hopefully I'm sharing it with other like-minded people. If not, that's all right. There's always other podcast or social media influencer that you can find. So yeah, just a little bit of Australian news that I do have is the old Trump Towers in the news at the moment. Um, Being the mainstream media news, it's not in a positive light. You kind of got to go out of the mainstream media realm, and into the social media jungle, to find real truth and honest and fair information. So and that's what Stringy Bark podcasting is trying to do. Yeah, back to the Trump deal on the Gold Coast, one street off the beach in Surfers Paradise, a Trump Tower, 340 meters high, 91 stories, I think it is, and 265 residential, and then 260 or 280, yeah, for holiday makers and sightseers. So that's all good information, good bit of publicity and tourism for the Gold Coast. Will generate some jobs in construction stage, and then for into the future, obviously running and maintaining the building. Eric Trump posted on X that it's going to be Australia's tallest building, and he also of the proposed hotel motel. The company that designed and is going to carry out construction, Atlas Group, the CEO of the business, flew over to Mar-a-Lago last week, signed the deal, and apparently Trump's been wanting to do this for a while. So I don't know what the reasons were, but finally it's been approved, and we look forward to that getting built and being prosperous. There's no doubt it won't. There's a possibility that I might even cross the Great Dividing Range and head down and just get a photo with it, because yeah, I don't really leave Australia, and I ain't going over to America anytime soon. So yeah, if you want to get a photo at the Trump Tower being in Queensland, it's pretty good for us. So as usual, there's 23,000 not happy Jans who have all signed a petition and don't want it to go ahead. So apparently the number keeps rising, but considering it's on the Gold Coast and it's quite a big place, few lefties there, I don't think that's going to be an issue. Let's hope not anyway. But if it's been signed and old mates, the executive's gone over to America, I dare say it's going to be happening. So we look forward to that. Just a bit of news out in Queensland, West Queensland, up north and towards the Territory. So quite a big area. Apparently they've had some severe weather over the last few days, and they're still getting a hammered fair bit of rain, flooding, dams might be bursting, and it's not looking very good out there at the moment. Being out here in the bush or being in any part of Australia, we seem to get some pretty serious storms every now and then. But the ones out west, because it's pretty flat country and can drop a fair bit of rain, it can cause a bit of damage. So we hope everyone's doing well out there. I think there was areas where the Burdekin Falls up near Cloncurry, and I think a few people have had to be evacuated from flooding and dams wanting to burst. So I think they're seeing some average rainfalls of around 100, 120 mil in 6 hours. So that's a bit of rain, and it's been going for a while. So we hope to see the end of that. I think the country's copped its fair share of rain for now. So we'll turn the taps off and we'll let it dry up now, eh? So everyone can get back to normality, work and keep providing for themselves, their families, and their country. Just a bit of national news for Australia. So I thought I'll jump over to the old USA Iran. Bit of a mishap that's going on over there at the moment. I think Trump's ended up sending a few more military assets, counting down the 10 days that Trump's given them to sign the deal. Apparently, Trump sent Witkoff to go meet the Iran supreme leader and sign the deal. If no deal signed, suffer the consequences. For the consequences, America has sent the biggest military fleet over to the Middle East since Iraq in 2003. So that's definitely meaning business. I think we're down to day 6, so we're almost halfway there, and I don't think there's been any deals signed. We've been at day 6. I don't think the deal's been signed. I don't think they've handed over any uranium or any means to make enriched uranium. So yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on this. The other thing that I've been hearing over the last few weeks is the China issue with Taiwan. Now that hasn't been resolved. We still believe that China's intentions of taking Taiwan this year or early next year. The probability of it happening is pretty high. The probability of it happening is pretty high. They've spent too many years developing and moving in on Taiwan and its straits and its surrounding areas for them to back out and do nothing now. Been building offshore islands in international waters in Taiwan. They've been approaching. They've 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 been built. They've been building. They've been building man-made islands in international waters around Taiwan. They've been approaching neighbouring countries around Taiwan. We believe they want to take back Taiwan believe China wants to take back Taiwan due to its chip manufacturing and semiconductor manufacturing and for other strategic reasons. Being close to Australia is one. That's why they've been spending so much time in our great country, floating around our international waters with their navy, and they've been trying to sign up Australia and our politicians to the Belt and Road for many years. I think they even did down in Melbourne, Victoria. The old mate Dan Andrews wasn't he a weasel, but wasn't he a weasel? What I've been seeing over the last few weeks and months is that the alliance and friendship that Australia has with other Western nations, America, England, Canada, New Zealand, we've formed an alliance that we all need to keep. We've formed an alliance and a partnership with these great countries for a reason, which is to defend our own countries. The stronger we are together, the better our countries are and the safer our countries are, especially being in the Western civilization, especially if we want to keep our countries great and prosperous into the future. So yeah, that's just a little bit on the China and the Taiwan blockade, which is possibly coming at the end of this year or next year. I'll bite my own foot if I have to, but of the amount of research that I've been doing, and the time and effort that China have been putting into that region over the years, I believe it's inedible. So yeah, that's a China issue that Australia is facing. That's why I believe that they've been cozying up to all our Pacific friends and neighbours, Papua New Guinea, a few other Indonesia, a couple of other countries, which is to get them on our side and defend our whole Indo-Pacific region from a threat of outside influences, China not being the only one. So if you sit back and look at what they've actually been doing, the alliance with the Western countries, the alliance with the Western countries, the alliance with the Western countries is still strong, and the BRICS alignment is falling apart. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa thought that they could oust the mighty USA and the dollar and all our Western countries for communist, socialist, dictatorship, third world. It was never going to work anyway because your countries can't get on at the best of times. So we're glad that the mighty USA is defending Western civilization and our way of life. The other thing of Stringybark podcasting issue number 3 is the AI digital CBDC smart city programs that are still possibly installed for all humanity moving forward, whether it be 5, 10, 15 years ahead. If you're around my age with kids, young kids and children, you're going to experience this. I believe we're going to experience the AI robotics takeover within this period of time. It can be used for good, and let's hope it is, to help humanity, help society, help the world, and be used for good. But it can also be used for bad through surveillance, controlling, cancellation, and any other means of censorship. So if you've been following a fellow Australian, his name's Daniel Peckick. He's on YouTube, and he talks about this. AI takeover, the merger of humans, AI, robots, quantum computing, agentic AI, and other models. Apparently, there's a new AI out nowadays for developers and designers and whoever's into AI. It's called OpenClaw, and apparently it's the bee's knees. So like Daniel's been saying for a while now, AI is starting to replace certain jobs now. You can only have a look. I've written them down. Reading and writing, analysing, anything that's predictable is already getting replaced now. Eventually service, editing, marketing, accounting, gone. All to AI and more in the future as this digital realm is forced upon us. That's in the bad, and more in the future as this AI revolution of robotics is forced upon us. That's in the worst case scenario, plus more. We talk about the CBDC and digital ID, UBI, that will be forced upon people as well in the future. You can kind of already see the way it's going with the cashless society, taking away your banks and ATMs, especially out here in the bush. So that's another thing. That's another thing that we're keeping a close eye on as well, especially being involved in crypto. I've been looking into the laws and regulations that they've passed in America, the Clarity Act, the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, and a few other bits of legislation. So our 3 main talking points at Stringybark podcasting is 1, we're for Australia, 2, we're for Australian citizens, and 3, we're for Australia's future. Now that means that's all aspects for Australia. Now that's all aspects on Australia. We're talking about productivity and manufacturing goods and services and minerals in our own country, which our industries have been shut down and closed over the last 30 or 40 due to government, lobbyists, environmental, and just even the cost of living nowadays. Another Australia policy that we're for is the health of our country and our citizens. Who's in control of our health? Are we still signed up to the UN, Paris Agreement, United Nations, World Health Organization, Agenda 2030 programs? Because last time there was a serious flu outbreak, it seemed to be people from outside our country telling us what we had to do. We seem to be getting outside influence from other countries. So who's in charge of that? The infrastructure, the critical infrastructure of our country. Who's in control of that? Another Australia First issue is immigration, mass immigration. We're not silly. We know that we need immigration to a degree, but we need to really slow it down. We need to vet the people that we're bringing into our great country, and we need to look at the countries that we're bringing these people in from. Okay, let's be honest. So the whole immigration system needs an overhaul, and we need to go back to common sense and how it was years ago, because what's happening now is not working. Yeah, it's not working. It's not working very well. So we need the Albanese Labor Greens government to hurry up and pull their finger out. Because Albanese, I've got a hole in my bucket, and my fellow Australians' buckets are nearly empty as well, mate. Because you haven't promised anything, because you haven't delivered anything you promised during your election, and you've had 3 years to sort it out. But we all knew this was going to happen. That's what you get when you vote Labor Greens. So, we knew this was going to happen. That's what you get when you vote Labor Greens. It's an absolute mess. It's an absolute mess, and you get what you vote for. And it's an absolute mess because you just get what you vote for, and I sure as hell didn't vote for the Labor Greens. Yeah, so in short, it's good to see the alliance with America, Australia, and all Five Eyes Western nations are still strong, apart from what the mainstream media are telling you. The relationships are doing well. Albanese needs to do what he's told. He doesn't make up the rules. He only does what he gets told. So it's good to see that the relationships. So yeah, if you don't listen to the mainstream media, everything's going well on that front. The backlash with One Nation and Pauline Hanson's still going on. I predict that's going to keep going on until election time. And I don't want to say it or jinx it, but it's the momentum will fizzle out because we've got 2 years, but I'm still sharing and staying positive. So I hope you are as well. But yeah, I might just make this a quick one tonight, eh? I've ended up finishing work late again, so we're getting some pretty big hours at the moment, which is good. It's good for the bank account, and it's good to get on top of things, you know what I mean? Sometimes it can get a bit hard and you fall into a bit of a rut, so you got to take it while you can. So I've been working 12 hours, coming home, spending a bit of time with my family, having dinner, getting that sorted out, waiting for them to hit the hay, and then I've been coming out to the shed and doing a bit of a podcast and having a yarn. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and